In this video, I'm going to share with you how I moved from being an average student to becoming the best graduating student in my class. I'll be sharing with you 7 most important tips that helped me through this journey. The first thing I do every semester is to make sure that I set clear targets. I set targets for each course that I'm going to do, what I expect to get in each course with reference to the credit hours allocated for the courses. I also look at the content of the course. The ones I have issues with, I have to make sure that I'm going to sit up and then set targets that are going to help me achieve whatever that I intend to get. You don't have to set just any target. You have to set targets that are challenging, targets that will challenge you to set up, to read more, to research, and to do more than you have been doing. Also, your target should be quantifiable. The target you are setting is not just to say, oh, I want to get an A, B, or a C, but then you should set target at least to say, I want to get 80, I want to get 75. And how do I get it? Maybe mid-semester, I'm supposed to be getting this quantity of marks out of 30 or 40. And also, at the end of the semester, the end of semester 2, I'm going to get maybe 60 out of the 70, or maybe 40 out of the 60. The second thing I do is that I always have a student mindset. I make sure how I achieve whatever grade I had in high school, the practices I use, the character I put up, the behavior, the attitude I put up to study, all of them I maintain it. So I come to campus each and every day, early in the morning to study, and then after each lecture I make sure I stay back on campus, have some rest, eat, study until my last lecture before I will leave campus. This gave me time to settle in the campus environment and also use the time between lectures wisely. Also prevented me from wasting the time from walking from campus to get to my hostel before I'll come back for the next lecture. The next thing, or the third thing I do, is to make sure I use my early mornings. You see, throughout the day, you go for lectures, you do your activities, you get home tired, and probably you have to rest. So what I do is I make sure I rest. When I wake up at dawn or early in the morning, that is when I utilize that fresh mind, because that is when the mind or the brain is refreshed, and it's really helped me. Also, what do I do for the evenings? In the evenings, I make sure I do not read much or study. I use the evenings to prepare myself for the following day, do research works, do my assignments, and then rest. All because throughout the day, the brain is exhausted, and the exhausted and tired brain is not in a good condition to read or study. The fourth thing on the list is for me to get my personal timetable. For every semester, I make sure I design for myself a personal timetable that will guide me through the whole of the semester. I design it in such a way that it syncs with my activities, the lectures, and every other thing. With my personal timetable, I design it such that I read or study each course at least 3 times in a week. One is before the lecture, that is to read something before the lecture by revising what you've done previously and also studying a little ahead. If I read a little ahead, I'm better in a position to take proper notes during the lecture, because I'll be able to differentiate what's on the slide and what is on the slide. After the lecture too, I find time on my timetable to revise what has been done. And then during the weekend or before the weekend, Friday to Sunday, I make sure for all the courses I go over all that has been done previously. Then the following week begins. Take it as if you are reading a storybook. For the first time, it's difficult to finish it very fast. But as you continue to read it multiple times, it's much easier to read and finish a novel even a day. So if you apply same to your study by reading, going a little ahead, reading after the lecture, and then doing some small intensive study during the weekend, you don't need to spend too much time and then memorize a whole lot. Flexibility and rigid. And I mean flexible in the sense that I do not actually allocate a particular time in the day for what I have to study or for any course that I have to study. But then I allocate particular hours. Number of hours I have to study each course that I have for the day is allocated on the timetable. So for any case, if anything happens, I have to find another time. So if I said I'm going to read in the morning, and in the morning I had some emergency that I couldn't study, then I have to find another time within the day to read. If it's supposed to be an hour or 2 hours, to read it again. Even if it's supposed to be 30 minutes and I lose it, I have to find it within the day or sacrifice something that is of less priority within the day to read it. We all know time management is a problem for students and also for people in general. But then there's a way to manage your time as a student. As a student, one thing you should know and do is to set priorities. Set your priorities and set it right. The reason why you came to school or you are on that campus is to study, and that should be the first priority. The academics should be the first before any other thing. Procrastination is also a challenge. Yeah, it's a challenge. We always tend to procrastinate. Oh, I'll do this one this time. Let me shift it to in the evening. Oh, let me do it tomorrow. I think next week I have this free time. Let me do it next week. And we keep on postponing. To avoid procrastination, you need to exercise delayed gratification. Certain things you want to enjoy or you want to do, you have to delay the gratification that comes out of it and then focus on what you have to do, what you need to do. One thing to also do to manage your time is to make sure you remove distractions. Anything that will distract you as a person, as a student, you need to be able to remove them. If it is social media, you have to make sure you turn off your data or you put your phone on airplane mode, do not disturb, and focus on your study. If it is outing, if it is games, or any other thing that you so like that will distract you, you have to make sure you find a way to remove said distractions. On the list, you need to have enough sleep. Have good and enough sleep for yourself. You also need to rest when you are tired. Studying, forcing yourself to study when you are tired, or forcing yourself to do that work or to be up when you are tired won't help. You need to always have rest when tired. Eat well. Yes, eat balanced diet and drink a lot of water. Being positive about what you want to achieve, your goals, your effort is very important. You have to be positive about the effort you are putting in, be positive about the little steps you are taking, and be confident in yourself that little by little, step by step, you will achieve it. For all these guides or steps I've shared with you through my experience, you can start. You can be motivated to start, but what you actually need to reach the goal, to achieve the target, to achieve what you want, is consistency. Be consistent with everything you are doing. Be consistent with your study. Be consistent with attending your lectures. Be consistent with your time for sleep. Be consistent with every little thing you are doing, because it's consistency that achieves the results. Though my aggregate that I used to come to the university wasn't the best compared to my mates, by following these guides and these steps, I was able to move from being an average student to become the best graduating student from my class. And I believe if you apply same to yourself consistently, you are also going to achieve whatever goal you set for yourself. In my next video, I'll be sharing with you how I study smartly, and I'll break it down for you if you are facing any challenges with how you study, and if you want to study and then achieve better with even minimal effort. I will guide you through in my next video. So be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that whenever I drop the next video, you'll be notified to come and watch.